Greatness always costs something. Question is, what are you paying for? Because this week we've been exploring something deeper than ambition, deeper than success, deeper than hustle. We've been asking, is greatness actually worth the cost? And that is not a casual question. Many people spend years, sometimes decades, chasing more without ever fully examining what more is costing them: more status, more money, more recognition, more growth. But eventually, if you're honest, you have to stop and ask yourself, is this building my life, or is it quietly consuming it? We started here. Greatness is not free. It never was. Every meaningful pursuit demands sacrifice, sometimes time, comfort, convenience, ease, certainty. There's always a bill that comes due. But the first lesson is this: the existence of sacrifice is not the problem. The real issue is unconscious sacrifice, drifting into a life where you're paying dearly for something that you never deliberately, intentionally chose. That's where regret begins. Sacrifice without purpose becomes loss. And then we moved into ambition. Ambition is powerful, but unchecked ambition is very dangerous. Ambition can absolutely build extraordinary things if it's governed by wisdom. But when ambition becomes ego or hunger without any real boundaries, then it stops serving you and you start serving it. There's nothing wrong with ambition. There's nothing wrong with chasing something that you really deeply desire. But this is an area where a lot of leaders fracture. They build their careers, but they lose their peace. They build their wealth, but they lose their health. They build influence, but they lose themselves. So ambition itself, again, is not wrong, but by itself is not noble. It must be governed. Not all greatness is wisdom. Some versions of greatness are just socially rewarded self-destruction. We talked about discipline. This is where the fantasy dies, because many people love the image of greatness, but they reject the structure that is required to achieve it. They want outcomes without paying the price, without the regimen. They want recognition without the repetition. But discipline is often the real separator. Not talent, not luck, not even potential. Discipline, the willingness to govern yourself when your emotion fades away, when that initial excitement goes away. This is where we talk about doing the boring work, but the boring work wins. The willingness to stay aligned without praise. This is one of the reasons why Stoics obsessed over self-mastery, because without self-governance, power is completely unstable. So then we ask the harder question: what is this all costing you? Because every meaningful yes costs a meaningful no. And if you do not consciously choose your sacrifices, your ambition is going to choose them for you. So here's what that could look like. Could mean yes to money and no to marriage. Could mean yes to recognition and no to lifelong health. Could mean yes to growth and no to peace. Again, ambition itself is not evil, but unconscious pursuit is dangerous. Wisdom means that you have to examine the trade-off. And finally, and perhaps the most important point, if you do not define greatness, it'll be defined for you. Culture will define it for you. And culture is often deeply confused. It'll tell you greatness means visibility, scale, status, applause. But Stoicism asks something else of you. It asks you to define, who are you becoming? See, greatness is not merely external achievement. It is internal congruence, alignment, integrity, virtue, stewardship, wholeness. If your definition of greatness cost you your soul, was it ever really greatness? No, it was not. It was fake. So here's the real question. What does greatness mean to you? Not to culture or comparison or fear. To you. Because greatness always has a cost. The only thing you truly control is whether what you are building is worthy of the life you're spending on it. Because you only get one. So choose carefully, build deliberately, build intentionally. And remember, becoming more should never require you to become someone that you were never meant to be. Let's go.